Hello there. Yeah, whenever I used to do these, I went all out with the full Snake from Metal Gear cosplay, but as you see, my hair is gone. I can't find the bandana, and I lost the eye patch. So, yeah, I guess I look more like Obi-Wan Kenobi now anyway, so that's the intro I'll go with. Actually, though, I still have some piece of military equipment on. This jacket I'm wearing actually was used in Vietnam, and I brought it into while I'm teaching the kids about that. I'm a history teacher as well as an English teacher. But we're not here about all that. We are here because somehow my channel managed to hit 10,000 subscribers. How on earth did that happen? It's funny because I always told myself like 10,000 was the goal. Like if I made that much, then I was like successful. I did what I set out to do. But I didn't think I'd make it there. And yet here we are like a year and a half later. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm glad you enjoy the content. I know not everyone watches everything. I mean, just because I have 10,000 subscribers doesn't mean I'm getting anywhere near 10,000 views. But that's not why I do it. I do it because I have fun making it, and it seems like some of you guys enjoy watching it. So yeah, I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all the positive feedback from the Battlefront video that came out. That was a lot of work, and I'm glad you guys liked it. Now, for what I want to do for this video. I figured I wanted to do something fun to celebrate for 10,000 subscribers, and you're not going to have to look at just my face anymore. I'm going to put up some gameplay footage right about now. So yeah, you're probably watching Fortnite. I'll probably put some Castlevania footage up later from when me, Austin, and Jevon were playing it the other day. But look, Fortnite's doing a huge Star Wars event. My brother plays a lot of Fortnite. I like Star Wars. Where else are you going to see Darth Maul shoot Goku with a shotgun and then hit the gritty? It's a phenomenal game. But I'm beating around the bush too much. I said that we are going to be doing a Q&A for 10,000 subs. So I put out the little post about a week ago or so. So I'm going to go over a few of those questions. Actually, pretty much every question that's there because there was just enough where I thought it was a good number to cover. So yeah, thank you guys for the questions, and I hope you enjoy this video, and let's go ahead and get started with that. So we'll start off with kind of like I don't want to call them generic questions, but the simple questions that I was expecting to get. So the first one actually comes from Datch, who commented, I think just like yesterday at the time I'm recording this. But he says, what was your reason for beginning YouTube and continued passion for making videos? So probably what really got me interested in YouTube is back when I was like, I don't know, around 11, 12 years old. I started finding YouTubers. The big one I watched was a guy named Chuka Conroy. I've mentioned this in a couple videos, and he's still a pretty big YouTuber. Not in the mainstream, but like he was one of those OG YouTubers who would do Let's Plays. I remember it was his Super Mario Sunshine series I watched first. And I watched it because I didn't have a GameCube. I was interested in like what is Mario Sunshine really like, and I ended up just having a blast watching him. I thought he was funny, entertaining, and I was like, that would be fun to do. And so like I said, a few years ago I had some free time and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make YouTube videos. I don't want to get famous or anything. I just want to make them because I have fond memories of watching them. So why I got time, why not make them? So yeah, and as for continuing passion, I don't know, it's just a great hobby. I find it relaxing and I enjoy the skills of like video editing. And even though my stuff is not great by most metrics, I still enjoy making it. Also, the next one comes from Lige Videos, which is actually my old college roommate. Hey buddy. He asked a couple questions, so let's go through them. First off, which video that you've done are you the most proud of? That is a toss-up. There's a lot of random videos here and there that I find myself really liking. Like, I really enjoyed my Force Unleashed 2 DLC video. One of my all-time favorites, which sucks because it hasn't become popular yet, or like not many people watch it. But when me, Austin, and another friend of ours actually reviewed the KFC Lifetime Original movie. Yes, that exists. I will put a link to it either in the description or at the end of this video. It is so weird and so bad. We like reacted to it. That was a lot of fun to make. But probably what I'm the most proud of would be either the recent retrospective video, just because like that was very much so me and my content. Either that or the Battlefront 2 Iceberg. Both of those were like, I looked for videos like that. No one had made them. I really wanted to make one, and I was like, I want to give it a try. Those are also two of my most popular videos. Not my most popular. If you've been around a while, you know which one that is. It's the Attack on Titan edit that I did that somehow blew up. And I kind of hate that it did, because that was just me editing together other people's work. I did very little work with that, and yet it's stupid popular. But yeah, probably the Battlefront, most of the Battlefront videos, but specifically the retrospective or the iceberg would be the ones I'm most proud of. I'm going to come back to Elijah's next question in a bit because it ties in with someone else's. The last one he asked me is, what is my social security number? 1673. Okay, let's get into some of the other stuff that's not related to the channel, the other questions like that. DTX Speaks asked, which version of the Clone Wars do I like better? The Star Wars multimedia project of the early 2000s or the TCW reboot, which is canon? Ooh, that's a good question. I have an easy answer to it, but it's not going to be a satisfying one. So anyone who doesn't know, back in the early 2000s when the prequels were coming out, Star Wars did this thing called the Clone Wars Multimedia Project, which was pretty much, they were releasing books, games, comic books, all sorts of other stuff, and it was like all part of the Clone Wars, and it was all supposed to be like intermeshed together, like the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series, the comics, the Obsession arc, and I have experienced almost none of it firsthand. Yeah, outside of some of the video games, because like I think Battlefront 2 even technically might fall within it, but like I haven't read any of the comics. I've read a lot of the books, but I haven't like viewed them as multimedia projects. I just see them as the books. I will say this: I have one of my very good friends who also commented on here, and he says Naboobies. That guy actually is a huge multimedia fan, and he's told me a lot about it, and hearing about it, I'm like, that's very interesting, and probably if I had first-hand experience, that might be my favorite, because I like it in theory, but I haven't really experienced it fully. Meanwhile, I grew up with TCW, the Clone Wars show. Like, that is my bread and butter. I love it. It's flawed, don't get me wrong, but so is all of Star Wars, but it's great. I have a lot of fond memories of it, so that would be my favorite, but it more comes down to nostalgia and exposure rather than genuinely, oh, I think this is better. So yeah. Okay, the next question, Crusader Queen says that I mentioned in some of my videos that I'm an English teacher. What grade do I teach? Well, yeah, I'm an English and a history teacher on the side. I teach middle school, specifically the 7th grade. And I love some of those kids, and the rest of them are causing me to go gray. And it's like, I mean, that's my career. I'm in the teaching. I'm hoping to teach at a college level one day. So it's been fun, and that's part of the reason why I wasn't sure if I was going to keep making videos like this, or making videos on this channel, period. Because I got into that job, I didn't know what all was going to be expected of me, how much free time I would have. But it seems like it's worked out pretty well, where I was able to keep making these videos very regularly, surprisingly enough. But that's kind of become the only thing I do with my free time. But I enjoy it still, so that's good. Also, building off of that, Miguel Francisco asked a lot of questions. One of them, in a similar vein, asking what got me into teaching. That would be, there's two things specifically. One, my own mother. I was actually homeschooled growing up, and my mom took the time to teach my brother and I. And I'm so thankful for that. Even though, like, you know, I think different types of schooling work for different people. Homeschooling definitely worked for me. Probably public or private school would have worked better for my brother. But we still turned out all right, and she really instilled a love of learning. And even to this day, my brother and I, we love, like, when we learn something new, we talk about it. And we're both really into things like history, literature, humanities type stuff like that. Another thing is just I've had some really excellent teachers, especially in college, some professors who have poured into me a lot, some who didn't as much, but all of them just showed me like, yeah, this is what a really good teacher looks like, and that's just what I felt like I was I've called to do. Also, another question from Miguel Francisco. He asked, what are some of my other passions outside of gaming and literature? Probably the two biggest ones. The first one would be theology. I've said it in a few videos. I am a Christian. In fact, that's every single one of my videos. I put special thanks to special thanks, and I list God in every single one of them. Both because I am thankful that God's given me the creative mind He has, but also because if you look in the credits for Battlefront 2, it says special thanks to God. So I was like, oh, I'll include that. It'll be cute. So stuff like, studying the Bible or theological discussions are probably a big passion of mine. I don't do it very often, and I'm not super well versed in all of it, but I just like talking. It's a big surprise. I'm an English teacher. Other than that, theater. I really love theater. I've been doing acting for a while. I got to direct a show in college. We did the Chronicles of Narnia. I've been in a couple plays like Emma, Once Upon a Mattress. My church, I used to do a lot of stuff in my church. So, and big surprise, the YouTuber who's an English professor likes theater. Who would have ever guessed that? So yeah, those would probably be my biggest passions outside of this stuff. Miguel also asked, how would you rank the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy in terms of my own opinion from best to worst? And he wants to specifically say he put worst in quotes because he loves them all. He also said I can include the sequel trilogy, which I probably will. That also relates to the other question that Lige asked, which is what is my favorite Star Wars movie and why? Probably I'm both gonna have the lights just went out of my classroom. I'll be right back. There we go. So probably my top 3 Star Wars movies would be this. Please stick with me. Number 1 spot easily goes to Revenge of the Sith. I think that's the best one. It's also very flawed. Like, all the Star Wars movies have stuff that's wrong with them. But I think that's my favorite. I enjoy it the most. I love the story. I just think that's the movie for me. My number 2 pick would come from the original trilogy, and that is The Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I think Empire Strikes Back is great and phenomenal. But I like Return of the Jedi more. I just think that's where the whole story comes together, and again, Christian. So the redemptive elements, like Darth Vader being redeemed and coming back to the light side, I really like that, and I've actually used it when talking about my faith with others before. So yeah, thank you, Star Wars, for giving us a great story about being redeemed. Now, my number 3 pick. This is where people are probably not gonna like it, but I actually really enjoy The Last Jedi. Bear with me. There's a lot of stuff wrong with that movie. I especially hate let's free the space horses when there's literal child slaves here as well. And there's other little things that annoy me a lot. But I actually really in the theater, I really liked it. It really moved me. And I really liked some of the stuff they did with Luke Skywalker. Don't get me wrong, I grew up reading the old Legends novels. I know what Luke is supposed to look like. I don't know. I actually liked I think it was just where I was at the time mentally, but I liked the idea of there being this grand hero who made a mistake, realized he made a mistake, but the consequences still followed him, and now he's kind of become consumed with it and is in this deep state of depression that is not who he normally is. At least that's my interpretation of it. Again, he sensed the bad in Ben Solo, and he was gonna kill him, but then he immediately caught himself. But at that point, it was too late. The consequences for his actions had already taken place. That's what I like about it. And I think the whole last segment of the movie on Crate, I really enjoy it from a visual standpoint. Finn should have sacrificed himself though. So yeah, that would probably be my top 3. That's probably all I'm going to do because the rest of them flip-flop. The other 2 prequels probably are at the bottom just because I don't remember anything from Rise of Skywalker, and every time I watch Force Awakens, it just reminds me too much of A New Hope. But there's something I like about every Star Wars movie, even the sequels. I think they have their merits. They're not good, and they're a terrible trilogy, but individually I think they have their merits. And Miguel, I also see that you said you hope I'm becoming a history teacher. It's great, man. It's a lot of fun. If you do it, have fun with your students, whether they be high school, middle school, or college. Like, have some fun with them. It's great. He also asked, what is my favorite type of food, or a specific food I really like. I mean, meat and potatoes. Yeah, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy likes meat and potatoes. Who'd have ever thought of that? But yeah, I like, like a good seasoned piece of meat, especially when it's like really spicy. Like if you put good seasoned blend on it. So yeah, I guess that's it. There's my weird answer to the food question. And the last one I'm gonna point out is not even a question. It's from Rio Art, where he just says, "It's hilarious that your name is literally City 16 in Spanish." Yes, it is, Rio. Let me tell you that story. Yeah, to end things off, I'll say that the name Ciudad, the college I went to was Columbia International University, CIU. And like people have like the moms of the friend group. I was like the dad of the group of people I hung out with, so I was called the CIU dad. And then like Spanish was the foreign language I took. I remember almost none of it now, but whenever I heard that Ciudad is the Spanish word for city, and I was called CIU dad, I was like, oh, pun opportunity, because I also like puns. The other old name that I was originally thinking about going with, and that I used to have for like my old Xbox Live account, was called the Baconator, because I like bacon. That's another food I really like, is bacon. But I thought that Ciudad kind of rolled off the tongue a little easier. I put the 16 on it just because I like the number 16. And yeah, that is why I'm called that. So it is a pun. It is purposely named after like City 16. But it's also because like I was the dad at CIU. So I'm not Pedro Pascal, but I can be your daddy too. What a great way to end the video. So yeah, with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope maybe it was entertaining. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. If you're still here, you must have liked part of it at least. To end it off, I'll just put some of my personal favorite videos up on the screen now for like the title card. Thank you guys again. I really like 10,000. Like it's humbling. It's really cool, and I'm gonna brag about it, but it is humbling too. I really appreciate all that you guys have done, and just that you like the videos. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.